What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is going to be your review for Force, Power Book 4 Force, Season 1, Episode 9. I was going to say Season 4. We are not in Season 4. Anyway, we open this episode up with Vic in the hospital having flashbacks of what happened last week with Gloria getting killed. Of course, he is feeling some kind of way. He is all in his fifis. He's sad and depressed and mourning and angry and all of those things. And here come Daddy Walter. And what is Daddy Walter doing all in his face? You know. Because he said it was the Serbs, Dad. We got to get the Serbs. It was the Serbs. He was like, and Tommy Egan. And he was like, Tommy don't have nothing to do with this. He was like, yes, he did. He did it. I'm telling you, he did it. He was like, Tommy's working with the Serbs. And Tommy did it. And Vic was like, he didn't do it, Dad. He tried to warn me and get me out of town. He was like, yeah, he tried to warn you and get you out of town. And then you knew exactly where... he knew exactly how to find you. See? And he was like, you right. It was Tommy. So now they after Tommy. So then we see Tommy. Looks like he done set up some sort of like money counting stash house situation with the little boy. What his name? Dre. The little boy. Rain Man. And it's money everywhere. I mean, it is money. He said their profits are up 18% from last week. I mean, they have more money than they know what to do with, and they really can't even keep up with the supply, even though they are working damn near around the clock. But you know, that's what it is. And so we see Tommy talking to him, and you know, telling him how smart he is, and he said, you know, you remind me of another kid that could, you know, that knew numbers and kept his head in the book. And he was like, oh, really? Where is he now? He was like, dead. And he was like, that's the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the game. Eventually, it catches up with you. Eventually, your number gets called. But again, we see Tommy just trying to, you know, big the boy up. And the boy was like, listen, I don't know nothing else but street life. Like, this is all I know is how to hustle. So, like, I hear what you're saying, but it is what it is. So then we cut over to JP over at the house. He packing the house up, and here come Daddy. Now, Daddy was coming down them steps. So is that where Daddy been all this time? Remember, he told Tommy that it wasn't nothing upstairs, but everything had been moved, had been stripped down to the studs. So where is Daddy staying? Anyway, he admits to his father that he feeling some kind of way about what happened. That even though he wasn't close to his grandmother, it was sort of like the last little connection he had to Kate. And then he admits to the father that he called Kate. And Daddy was like, I'm not surprised by that. I knew that was going to happen. He would say, well, how did that go? And he was like, well, I mean, it went however it went. You know, she didn't really, you know, say anything. She kind of hung up on me. I told her that her mama died and that I was her son. And she was just kind of like, all right, you know, thanks for letting me. Well, I only think she said, thanks for letting me know. She just hung up. Now, later on in the episode, we see him try to call her and the number is disconnected. But let me tell you something. Kate is going to show up next episode. I'm almost certain that we're going to see Kate next episode. Okay? For whatever reason. Later on in the episode, he does admit to Tommy that he called Kate. And, of course, Tommy totally loses it. He was like, yo, I asked you for one thing. One thing. And you couldn't do the one thing I wanted you to do. So he's really upset by it. So, anyway, then we see Tommy meeting up with Liliana. And, of course, you know, they're just talking about what's going on with moving the product. And, again, we see Tommy filling up cereal boxes with money. Again, that flashback to Power, you know, book 1 where he used to keep money in his kitchen and all that good stuff. And we find out that, you know, Liliana says, listen, the word on the street is Vic got shot up. And he was like, what? He was like, is he alive? And she was like, I mean, I guess, you know, his car shot up. And he said, so what about the girlfriend? She was like, ain't nobody said nothing about no girlfriend. I don't know nothing about it. And she was like, well, he was like, well, what about Vic? She was like, oh, he'll live. He was like, why you ain't leave with that? The two of them are hilarious. And then she asked, well, what's going on with Princess? You know, that's what she calls Claudia. And she said, well, he said, well, she should be out right now, you know, making those drops. And then we see it cut over to Claudia. She's in the car, you know, getting a drop from cute woman, and then they get to flirting, and I feel like they was about to have sex right there in the car, and then she gets the call from her daddy telling her, Vic's been shot, get home. And then she was really rude about putting that woman out her car. It wasn't that woman's fault that you found out that your brother had got shot. You didn't have to be so rude, Claudia. You could have asked her to please excuse yourself. I got something going on. I'll call you another time. It was so rude. Anyway, Claudia shows up, and Vic is alive, but he's beat up, and the dad is letting her know, listen, I need you now. We got to stand together as a family. We got to come together. He was ambushed by the Serbs, and then that's when Vic is telling her it was Tommy, and she was like, Tommy? I don't think it was Tommy. He was like, it was Tommy, and she was like, are you sure though? He was like, I'm sure, I know who it was Tommy, and she was like, but I mean, I don't know him that well, but it doesn't seem like his type. And then finally he was like, well, whose side are you on? And then here come Daddy Walter. Listen, we got to stand strong. We got to stand together. It's us against them. We are at war. You're going to have to, make a decision. And she was like, well, I mean, of course I'm with y'all. Of course I'm on y'all's side. But in the back of her mind, she's still questioning because she really doesn't think Tommy had anything to do with this. Later on, we see Walter talking to Paulie. And Paulie is like, we don't have the manpower for no war with the Serbs. Like, what are you doing? He was like, well, we just have to call in the horsemen. He was like, the who? We got to call in the 4 horsemen. Polly was like, are you sure that we want to do that? Is that what we want to do? Well, come to find out, the 4 horsemen are straight out of Ireland. They're like, I don't know, missionaries or whatever, but they come loaded for bear, okay? The 4 of them showed up, and they was ready to make it happen. Now, Vic lets Claudia know, listen, basically, I'm giving you a seat at the table. And of course, that Claudia throws everything out the window after that, because she said to her father, well, that's all I ever wanted. Girl, so she is all in, back with the family, listening, believing. I think a part of her still doesn't want to believe that Tommy is, that Tommy has anything to do with it. But she's, also torn because she, again, this is all she ever really wanted, was to be in with the family. So then we see Vic talking to, and he tells her, I need you to keep Vic safe, keep him away from Tommy, because, we're going to handle Tommy, but we're going to handle Tommy my way. Like, I don't need him going rogue. I can't afford for him to go rogue. Right, because, you're lying on Tommy. But anyway. So we see him talking to Vic, and, again, he's telling Vic, listen, this is family stuff. We're going to make it happen. We're getting everybody in line. We're getting the army, together. We're building up our army. But you are in charge. You are the leader. But I need you to stand down for now. Let me handle Tommy the way I need to handle Tommy. So Tommy shows up at the lab, and, he's trying to get in touch with Claudia. Claudia is not answering his phone. He's looking for Gloria. He don't know whether Gloria is alive or dead. He gets to the lab, and, Liliana is like, what's going on with Princess? And he was like, I don't know. I ain't talked to her. We see that, like I said, it's payday, and JP is like, man, Tommy, I just don't know how to thank you for this. Like, I really appreciate it. And he was like, I don't have to quit once we, once I make the money, because it sounds like they made an agreement that he would only work for him until he was able to pay off his debt and get out of debt. But now he's saying, listen, I don't have to stop there. Like, I could keep working. And Tommy was like, we agreed to this. This is what we agreed to. He was like, listen, once we get you out of debt, I'll find something else for you to do. But for right now, this is it. Like, don't renege on the deal. Basically, don't piss me off. I already did you a favor. So then Claudia calls, and so he's going to go meet up with Claudia. But before we can get there, we have young boy meeting up with, what's his name, Melvin. And he lets them know, he said, listen, you were right. Jannar cut me out of the deal with Gary, and I'm feeling some kind of way. And so he was like, well, what you trying to do? Like, how you want to get back at CBI? He was like, do you want to get back at CBI? He was like, of course I do. Yeah, I want to get back at them. He was like, well, what you trying to do? And so, he was like, man, I don't know, but, like, that was really messed up how they cut me out. He was like, I really miss you. You my boy. I love you, blah, blah, blah. So they make up, and then, Dre tells him, listen, I got something for you. Like, I know how we can get back at CBI. So they come up with this great idea that they're going to basically cut out Gerard and go straight to his cousins, go straight to Gary with the connect and say, listen, y'all cut out CBI and y'all deal directly with us. And they end up showing them that they do have a whole brick of the Dahlia. And he was like, well, and I'm thinking to myself, how did he get that? Because when we saw him in that stash house, all we saw was money. We didn't see no drugs. We only saw money, but I guess he got it somehow. And they basically went to the cousin and they told the cousin, listen, you deal with us and only us. You cut them out of the deal, cut CBI out of the deal, and you work only with us, and we'll get you a direct meeting with the connect. You just cut out the middleman. And so, cousin was a little leery, like he actually almost threatened to kill them. He was a little leery, and he told them, he said, listen, he said, y'all go ahead and y'all set the deal up, but if y'all can't come through with the deal, then I mean I can't trust you, and if I can't trust you, then I don't need you. I'm going, basically I'm going to kill you. And so, they happy with themselves. They think they done something. Now, while that's going on, listen, I'm just going to say this and get this over with. We have Officer Bennigan get rolled up on by the cop that's extorting him, telling him, listen, I know I told you I needed 20, now I need 50, and I need it by Friday. And of course, he's like, I can't get $50,000 by Friday. And he was like, that's not my problem. That's a you problem. But I'm telling you what I need. So he ends up, because I'm not dragging this out because this is stupid. But he basically ends up going down to the barbershop and robbing Diamond. And through all of this, Diamond is all cool and he's playing it like, you sure you want to do this, son? You sure this is how you want to play it? I mean, what is it that you need? What's really bothering you? Now, he got a gun in his head. He done got pistol whipped on the forehead with the damn butt of the gun. And he goes down in the safe and the dude tells him he needs 100 grand. He ends up giving him 150 grand. Mind you, he only needed 50 grand. And he tells him, he said, listen, basically, this is your fault. This is your fault because if it wasn't for you, my sister would be fine. My sister wouldn't be, I guess, in a mental, like, I don't know if she's on, life support or her brain is gone or whatever. But either way, I wouldn't need this money to take care of my sister and keep her, get her hospital bills paid if it wasn't for you and your drugs. So basically, you owe me. And Diamond is like, I mean, I never wanted to be no lifelong criminal. He was like, but yet here we are. He was like, yeah, but he said, well, neither one of us wanted to be where we are right now. And I was like, is he saying like right now me robbing you, or right now like I didn't really want to be a cop? I don't know. Either way, I think that whole part of the storyline is stupid because there's nowhere in the world that you would be allowing this cop to extort you when you have the whole Irish Mafia behind you. All you had to do was set the Irish Mafia up and say boom, boom, bam, and bang. But whatever, it's neither here nor there. So Liliana lets Tommy know that the Four Horsemen are in town, that the Irish Mafia is, like, the real Irish Mafia is here, and there's some things about to go down. So finally, and he lets Liliana know that, Claudia has ghosted him for the most part. We do finally see him meet up with Claudia at her house. And she questions him about whether he put the hit out on Vic. And he was like, I didn't. He said, listen, if I wanted Vic dead, Vic would be dead. Like, that's it, that's all. Like, I didn't put no hit out on him. I didn't do nothing to the man. But if I wanted to, I could have. You know me. And she tells him, she says, well, my dad believes that you did it, so you need to keep your head on the swivel kind of thing. Now, while this is going on, Jannard is in the basement of the barbershop having a whole conversation with his boy about how much he hates his brother and how he can't wait to overthrow his brother and how his brother don't need to be in charge. And even though he took a dive, which I still don't think he really took a dive, but he said he did. He took a dive to give him a false sense of security, but that's it. He about to take his brother out. He basically said he want to kill his brother. Now, while this is going on, Big Brother done walked into the barbershop. He quiet, and he overhears the whole conversation, and then he plays it off and pretends like he didn't hear nothing when they come upstairs. And of course, Jannard and old boy looking at each other like, oh damn, how much did he hear? Did he hear what we think? Did he hear everything we said? Yep, he heard everything y'all said. But of course, both of them play it off, and they like, what's up, big bro? I love you, big bro. I love you too, big bro. That whole situation. But at the end of the day, Diamond gonna have to make a decision about what to do about his brother. I feel like it's gonna be a whole Cain and Abel moment, but whatever. Then we see Diamond talking to the reporter. That don't mean we don't care about none of that. I mean, he tells her what happened. She wants to know what happened to his forehead. He ain't gonna tell her. He just say his past caught up with him and whatever. I don't care. Then we see Tommy roll up on one Diamond and basically ask him for a favor. He said, "Listen, I need an army. Like the Serbs are coming after me, and I need an army." And Diamond said, "Listen, all your markers have been called. Like I don't owe you nothing. We good." He said, "And we barely made it out the last time. No, I'm not trying to put my people in no more harm. Like I'm sorry, bro. You're gonna have to handle it yourself." And Tommy was like, "Cool, I get it. It never hurts to ask, kind of thing." So then Tommy went straight to the Serbs. Now, how he was able to walk through the front door without getting shot, I don't know. But he walked straight to the Serbs and he told them, "Listen, I need an army and I need protection. What's up?" And he was like, "Well, that's going to cost you." He said, "I tell you what, I also know who's after you. I know who's coming for you." And he was like, he said, "How much is it going to cost me for this army I need?" And he was like, 1.5. Tommy was like, "Done." He said, well, "Who's coming after me?" Tommy was like, "Oh, that's going to cost you." He said, "This is what I need. I want to know who ordered the hit on Vic and on Vic because his girl got killed and she didn't deserve that. She was innocent. So I need to know who called who called the hit." He said, "Matter of fact, I'll add another $500,000 if you go ahead and tell me." So dude tells Tommy who it is, and Tommy ends up, in the words of my girl Miss Honey, painting the wall with his brains, right there in front of everybody. Then you see Tommy getting the money together, and he goes and he pays the Serbs. Like, he did what he said he was going to do, so now he got an army. Unfortunately, while all of this is going on, Claudia, who, I don't know what Claudia was planning on doing, but Claudia rolled up on the Serbs and saw the Serbs talking to Tommy, and so now, of course, she just believes that what her dad told her was the truth, and that Tommy is absolutely involved. She runs back to to Daddy and Vic, and says, "You were right. Tommy's working with the Serbs," and Daddy was like, "I was?" Because he knew he was lying up until then. But of course, that all works in his favor because now both kids are 100% on board, ready to go to war, ready to come for Tommy. While that's going on, Jannard finds out that the two young boys then went behind his back and went to go try to make a deal with Gary. Now, he had already found out that Tommy was behind Dahlia. And, of course, that made him hate Tommy even more. But now he's like, "You know what? I'm done playing games." He said it all makes sense now because he must be working with Tommy because when I tried to pay him to take Tommy out, he wouldn't take the job and he gave me my money back. And now it all makes sense. It all makes sense. He said, "Well, I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and take everybody out, okay? I'm taking Tommy out, but before I get to that, I'm taking them two young boys out first." So then we see Tommy talking to the young boy, and he's explaining to Tommy that he made a deal with the Gary, Indiana crew, because of course he expects Tommy to be happy. Like, "Listen, I'm expanding your territory. I'm making deals. I'm out here wheeling and dealing." Of course, Tommy is not happy about it. Tommy's actually pissed off about it because Tommy's thing is, he really don't want him out there in them streets like that. So they end up getting into an argument, and Tommy ends up letting him know, "Listen, you're my nephew, okay? I know JP is your daddy. Why, you out here shooting up, bars and everything." So he ends up pulling a gun on Tommy, and Tommy's like, "Boy, you ain't gonna shoot me." So he ends up running off, because, of course, he's not gonna shoot Tommy. He ends up running off. Tommy finds him over with his lockbox, and they end up talking. And he was like, "Listen, I know it's complicated, but at the end of the day, you're a smart kid. I know you ain't really trying, I don't really want you in this life like that. You need to talk to your daddy. We need to go ahead and clear up, and have a family meeting powwow." So he agrees to do it. But of course, as they're walking, they roll up and they get shot. Tommy ends up shooting, I don't know if he shot both of them or he just shot one person. But unfortunately, young boy gets shot in the process. Next thing you know, Tommy ends up taking him to the hospital. Here comes JP. Tommy says, "Yo, that's your son in there. He got shot." JP is like, "Are you serious right now? Like, were you going to tell me that it was my son?" He was like, "How long have you known?" Tommy was like, "I know him a little while." So JP goes running in the hospital looking for his son. And then Tommy is, of course, pissed off about the whole situation. Because now he wanted to figure out who the hell just took a shot at them. And that's pretty much the episode. I mean, the last scene was what I already told you guys, with Victor basically getting the nod from his father to be the leader, to be ahead, and the Four Horsemen accepting the fact that Claudia now has a seat at the table. So next week is the season finale, and I guess we're going to get the whole boom boom pow going on. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.